So, and what was interesting is that the people of the whole Judean countryside were going out to John the Baptist and were being baptized by him in the Jordan River as they acknowledged their sins. Well, that was certainly I don't know if that was God's reaction to some of the sins we just acknowledged or what, but now people of the whole Judean countryside and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the gospel writers have a way, following the example of Jesus, of exaggerating from time to time. And what we would see is a fair number of people went out to John. Now, here is John, born of very elderly parents. How is it that he came to be aware of the role that he had in preparing for the coming of Jesus in Jesus' birth as a human being? But that he reflects or encourages us to reflect on what, again, we are capable of becoming as we pay attention to the inner voices of our intuition of the Holy Spirit and allow each other to encourage each other to look at what talents we may have that are buried, that are we haven't tapped into, that we can, again, make all those talents and gifts available to building up the community, that each of us would again be a leader. And that's very important, not just in our church, but our country as well. A democracy can't operate if people just sit by and say, it's somebody else's responsibility, any more than the church can flourish as God intended or as Jesus hoped for if people sit by and say, oh, well, that's the job of those holy people who like to spend a lot of time at church, or the priests and nuns, or whatever the case may be. No, the church can become fully alive only when everyone who says they are a member of the church finds ways to put forth all that they can reasonably to be again a leader, which means that we are all very clear on what each of us is called to be and how the wisdom of each of us that we have through the Holy Spirit needs to be pooled so that we have all this energy to be an energy for the world, and in our case, it'd be nice just if it were for the United States, that we can get ourselves on a path where we truly exhibit to the whole world that we are indeed concerned about every person on the planet and helping every person be the person that God intended us to be. So whether these people were acknowledging themselves as leaders, we're not quite sure. But again, for us and our baptism, that's certainly one of the elements that we reflect on, and how we are empowered by being anointed as priest, prophet, and king, how it is that we can make our gifts and talents, our wisdom available for the community, and that we take responsibility for doing our part. And it's the way to have fulfillment. It's the way to have meaning. Just sitting by and saying, oh, well, somebody else will take care of it. That's not too fulfilling, if at all.